Okay. What is the third sign of the zodiac?
The third sign?
Yeah. This is a little for the astrology heads out there.
I'm gonna go like sheep.
Sheep. Is that what? Wait. This is.
Oh wait, no, I was
Gemini.
doing Chinese. I was doing the Chinese like zodiac. Yeah, you know what?
I was like, you might be right in a different question, but
Yeah, that's not gonna be right for this one. Okay, wait. Aquarius.
it is Gemini. It's Gemini.
Okay, at
but
least that was an answer
good
that
guess.
was in the realm of possibility.
Yeah. See, I was like, sheep. I don't know if that's one of the signs.
No, dude. I just called the Gemini sheep. So
Right. Exactly.
so I was right for sure.
I to be fair, I don't think I would have gotten that right either. I don't pay attention to the signs in the zodiac.
Well, what is your zodiac for today?
What does that mean?
What is your zodiac?
Well, I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra. Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
say
Libra for today. And you're a what again?
Taurus. I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus. I don't know if I know a lot of Tauruses. Now I do.
Yeah.
Don't overthink.
It says you're intelligent, kind, always willing to put others before themselves.
Okay. Yeah. If someone is
true,
trying to spread
because it's very
negativity
general.
Or demotivate you, simply stay away from them. Okay. Good to know.
That's just advice. Like,
stay away from the negativity.
That had nothing to do with. That's just good advice in general.
That's just a
like I don't know.
fortune
Everyone
cookie.
should. Yeah, everyone should follow that.
I will say I've been getting a lot of really relevant fortune cookies recently, and it's making me believe that maybe there is something to them. Like
that's an interesting take.
The week is that I believe fortune cookies. Yeah, I got one
fact about yourself.
I got one the week of Dirtbag at Chicago International, like a few days before, that said,
and I'm guessing. Wait, I'm gonna guess what it said. It said,
yeah.
You're gonna premiere a new film
at the Chicago International Film.
If it said that, I would be completely on board with you believing fortune cookies.
It said you will be on a bigger stage this week, and I was like, "What does that mean?" And then I was like, "You know what? That's what the Chicago International Film Festival is." And then that's what happened.
Okay. All right.
Now that's something I knew was going to happen, so I don't know if it's a fortune.
Now,
but
what is another fortune cookie? Because you said you've had multiple. That
there was one a little bit ago that was like you will enjoy the sun soon, or something like that, something along the lines of like you'll enjoy new sunny views or something. And it was like a week before I left for a trip, and I was like, wow.
Oh, okay.
This thing knows I have a vacation coming up. I'm just saying, like, and there was one other that I'm forgetting now. But it was now I don't have it, but that 2 is enough for me to be like, okay, all right. 2 coincidences out of the like hundreds of Panda Express meals is it's got to mean something.
I have told you this a couple times, but I did have one from Panda Express once that said, "I will prosper in the field of wacky inventions."
Yeah,
which is so specific, and I'm like, I haven't prospered yet, but
it's such a funny thing to write.
It's so specific. Like, who's that going to be correct for?
Yeah. No, Panda Express fortunes are pretty crazy.
Yeah. What if you just had a friend who would randomly text you fortunes, but like not like from fortune cookies, just like that's how they communicate.
Just random fortune. Yeah, like
if John Oppenheimer, friend of the pod,
right,
just text you like things that he thinks are going to happen to you. Like that'd be kind of weird, right?
That'd
like
be,
fortune cookies, it's a cookie, so I feel like everyone's okay with those predicting my future. But
I
if it was like a friend,
to these fortunes.
Yeah, I would be like, stop. He's
yeah,
like, you're going to meet a new acquaintance,
especially
very close very quickly.
if they become like frequent, or they actually end up happening, these fortunes, then that's when I start getting concerned, and then I'm like, you need to stop because I want to live my life with some unpredictability.
That's going to be like a Stranger Than Fiction scenario.
Yeah.
For all those Will Ferrell heads out there.
I started in this short film at USC when I went to the film program there called Misfortunate Cookie, and it was about a guy who kept getting like bad luck in his fortune cookies and would try to avoid a bunch of scenarios and like cut all these people out of his life because he wants to avoid that happening as much as possible. And then by doing that, a bunch of worse things happen to him. And I don't know why I'm sharing this shitty short film idea.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say, getting past that, 'cause I have nothing at all to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to bring this up now.
Yeah.
If your girlfriend was the one texting you fortunes,
right,
what would you call them?
Is this a joke? Like,
yes.
I don't know. What would I call them?
Fortune cookie.
Oh my God! I thought that was a generalization. Like,
obvious.
I was like, oh, you're talking about literally my girlfriend. Yeah.
Yes. Oh no, that was not a general.
That's funny.
Your girlfriend. That was a Karsten Rundquist specific.
Yeah. It's one for the Karsteds.
It's one for the Karsteds. I would hope that we would give the Karsteds better content because that was horrible.
Than that. Well, if you guys want to know something, actually, Jeff, I have a hot take for you that I don't even know. It's not movie related.
This is just for everyone. We're starting to do YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels, TikTok. Although I forgot the login to our Karstcast TikTok, so on TikTok I'm actually just posting on my personal account because I never use it.
Yeah.
So follow me on TikTok. I guess it's
give it a shot.
So follow us on Instagram. Follow us. Well, we actually abandoned we had a YouTube Shorts channel, but now that YouTube is recategorizing it so that Shorts is its own tab in the normal channel, we're just posting them on the normal Karstcast. It gets separated really nicely. But we're trying to, implement a new thing that's clippable. And Karsten is going to give hot takes every episode.
If I have one,
no, I'm going to make you have one. You have to. And this week, what is your hot take, Karsten Rundquist?
I am thinking of joining the metaverse.
Okay, so you're in. I want to just throw out this.
I'm just not going to elaborate on that. I'm kidding. I will.
The new, Meta Quest Pro is $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And that just came out. So is that the one you're looking at?
So I got really bored the other night and was just kind of going through my closet as I do, just throwing shit around. And I found this Oculus Rift that I got for Christmas like 3 years ago. And I was like, God damn it, I'm going to boot it up. And I did it. And I was like, oh, I can get Meta on here. Like, you can access some of it at least. So I set up a whole account. I was worried because, first of all, you have to check off all these like privacy things, and I'm just like, oh, this is like just giving away every information. This is, oh my God, it's already so bad. And I was also like, this is going to be so embarrassing if this pops up on Facebook and people like see that Karsten joined the metaverse, and I'm like the only friend that joined the metaverse. But I like made the avatar and everything, and I forget why I stopped. I didn't get that far. It was kind of shitty and hard to use. But I kind of, I'm considering it. I'm considering going because I'm like, why not? I mean, there's a few reasons. There's so many reasons why.
Yeah. Now, I am honestly confused about what you mean by joining the metaverse.
So, like, just making an account, right? You just get in there and pop into some of the community. Because, like, we watched that documentary, VR Chat.
Yeah.
And you could be asking, why don't you just join VR Chat? But I feel like VR Chat's already got, like, a very, like, toxic thing about it. And I know that, like, nobody's on metaverse. So I'm like, dude, I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to
meta world,
become a new guy on metaverse. And dude, the thing about metaverse though that differs from VR Chat is the whole point of VR Chat is that these people can be like completely anonymous and like kind of enjoy this like new life, and that brings out a lot of like shitty parts. But also like Meta famously is so bad about privacy and information. The Zuck is not good at that stuff. So I'm just like, I feel like any sort of like anonymous like lifestyle you want to have on there is not possible. Not that I want to have an anonymous lifestyle.
Okay, that was my next question. Is that you really were
I don't want to have an anonymous
have some kind of anonymous lifestyle that no one can track.
Well, the thing is,
you were very specific that you want no one to be able to know who you are or what you're doing.
I do wish sometimes that I can use the internet without the idea of like any like followers finding me. Not that I don't appreciate it, but I'm just like, there are only a select amount of corners where I can go. Because even GeoGuessr, like sometimes I'll just be playing and then some guy will like DM me and be like, just played you in GeoGuessr, like shitty guesses.
Well,
and I'm like, what the hell? Like,
to be fair,
I'm verified.
You are verified on GeoGuessr, which
and that's
is
what
kind
I'm
of your
saying.
own doing.
Yeah, but you know, it's hard.
No, I understand. You know, because you're very famous.
And on the metaverse, I can be a new guy. You know,
yeah.
I can just be a new guy. And that's why I'm.
Although it'd be really awkward if someone found out who you were on the metaverse.
Yeah, it'll be our little secret. I don't know why I like raised my eyebrows when I said that. That made it really creepy. But
you're like, I want to be anonymous on the metaverse. It'll be our little secret. No one will know who I am or what I'm doing.
We should start the first metaverse podcast where we record in there and we kind of like talk about our day on metaverse. And
while we're walking through like a fake jungle.
Right. That it's like it hasn't been done before. We have to pounce on the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. The thing that I'm most excited for in VR, whenever I eventually, because we're all gonna have to get VR, it's gonna be mandatory. Imagine playing GeoGuessr in VR.
I thought
where
about
you just get to look around.
Yeah, you get to be in these locations. Yeah,
which would be
that would
cool.
actually. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet because it must be like kind of easy. Well, not easy, but like it's feasible.
You can already do like Google.
You can
Earth
look around in the
thing
thing,
or in like VR, because the metaverse is just like a part of VR.
Yeah.
It's very Meta is being really confusing about how they're calling everything the metaverse when it's just VR.
It's just VR, and that is the thing is like people are saying all the features they keep. Like Zuck was just like, we have legs now. It's like VR chats had legs. It's like all the things that metaverse claims they're like reinventing and like introducing to the world. It's like it's already been done, and that's what's so funny about it.
Apple's gonna release a VR headset next year.
Oh man.
So that's probably going to be like, that's when everyone's going to adopt it. They're going to be like, I need the Apple headset, the Apple ski goggles.
Plug to another YouTuber here, MKBHD, who just did a great video on the metaverse and why he is seeing it through. And it's like, you know what? It's not. And it's because like, I just think it makes sense because like clearly Facebook is out the door. And Mark Zuckerberg wants to capitalize on whatever the next big thing is going to be. And he sees VR being huge down the line and wants to get in on that. But he made a great point that like Facebook kind of, or Meta, I guess, being like the Google equivalent of VR, which is what it wants to be, is a bad idea. And that, I think a better version will come around that is not Meta. Is what I'm saying. But I agree that, we're probably going to be in the VR for a little bit.
We here at the Carscast clearly love VR since we just talked about it for like 10 minutes.
There's much to say about it. Yeah.
But and do you have any other thoughts about things?
On VR? No. Well, I learned how to rope climb yesterday, or belay. The real term. So I'm getting really into that. That's really fun. I have a talk today at DePaul. I'm giving a talk with like three other people. Yeah. About
wait, about what?
I'm someone from their entrepreneurship club invited me to do a talk there to talk about like starting my own business and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So I'm a little nervous, but actually I feel pretty good about it. I'm like, it'll be nice. It'll be good.
It'll be nice. What? That's a motto to live by.
So that will be that. Yeah. I'm just like, they got to put me on the notable alumni page one of these days.
Yeah.
If they're
I'm on the building.
You are on the building.
Am I still on the building?
I just drove by it the other day, and when it was like a block later. I was like, fuck, I forgot to check if Jeff was on the building.
Yeah, I am curious because it's been a while since I've been out there.
You're on the building. Nick's on a bus. Like, our whole friend group is the face of DePaul University.
And I want you to be on the notable alumni.
I know. It's got to happen one of these days. Anyway, though, that's what my days looks like after this.
Have you had any mishaps when you have been belaying?
No. Well, that's the thing, is that it's actually a lot safer than I thought it would. I went in a little bit scared because I'm like, they're putting their whole life in my hands, and the other way around too. So I was just like, I was a little sketched out, but it's actually incredibly safe and very fun. So I want to do it again.
Do you prefer bouldering or?
I think I prefer this. I prefer this because it's like they are very different. This is like an endurance thing because it's like so high up, whereas bouldering is like just it's very short, but it's like incredibly difficult a lot of the time. So that's I love it. I'm like so like this. I've had so much fun climbing. It's such a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come climbing with you next time I'm around.
You should absolutely do it. Yeah. Also, one last thing about my week. Sorry, I participated in one of my first GeoGuessr tournaments yesterday because I saw, when you go on the page, they're always like registration for the turn, and I always miss the window. Yeah. But yesterday I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. And I waited for like 2 hours because I had to wait for the registration window to open up, and then that lasts an hour itself. So I waited 2 hours, got in there, lasted 2 rounds, and lost. So that's...
Yeah, I kind of figured that you didn't do that well because you would have led with that.
I would have led with, yeah.
Like, if you won this tournament, I would have been hearing about it.
No, yeah. We all would have heard about it.
Yeah,
I've been playing a lot of GeoGuessr recently.
Yeah, I got to start playing because last time we played, you kind of
smoked you
pretty badly.
Smoked you, yeah.
You did smoke me.
There's a guy on my Twitch streams who is amazing. Shout out to Angelo. And we do country streaks on there, and he basically like says the answers in chat. And I got up to 16 on my country streak just because he was like, "This is Greece," and I was like, "How?" But I'm learning a lot in the process from him, so that's been really. Anyway,
well, I guess we should probably get into the. I'm going to be honest. Our conversation was not something that I don't think I can clip anything from that. Like, that was not a 1 minute.
There's plenty. We got metaverse, living an anonymous lifestyle. Yeah, they should make the title "Why Carson Wants to Live an Anonymous Lifestyle Online," and people are like, "Oh, I gotta see."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do that. But the movie this week, Enola Holmes 2. Is this the first film where we watched like the first one and the sequel?
I was thinking about this. I'm like, it has to be, which is so funny that it's this one.
Is Enola Holmes?
Yeah. Well, technically, we watched Space Jam and the Space Jam sequel.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
They're not as like tightly together as this. No. That was more like a remake. But yeah,
it was like if they remade it but made it worse in every way.
Yeah. This is a new movie on Netflix directed by Harry Bradbeer. And it stars Millie Bobby Brown, obviously, and Henry Cavill. And the synopsis is: Enola Holmes takes on her first case as a detective, but to unravel the mystery of a missing girl, she'll need some help from friends and Brother Sherlock. Yeah, this is it's our I really here. Okay, I don't remember anything about the first movie, is what I want to say. Like, I don't remember a damn thing that happened in that
They kept showing flashbacks, like, to the first film, and I was like, oh, yeah.
I vaguely remember, yeah. I even forgot, even though it's in the title, I forgot that she was, like, related to Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, that is on you. That's not
And then it started, and I was like, oh, right, Sherlock Holmes. It's a detective thing. Yeah. I wanted to bring back our Google review thing to look at the reviews, but there's no like negative reviews for this. It's all 5 stars.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we were pretty mixed on the first one.
we were, but I didn't. I
But
remember
Rotten
not
Tomatoes, I don't
hating
think we
it.
ever looked. Yeah, we
No.
didn't hate it, but we just thought it was like, eh. But on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes, the first one had a 91%.
Jesus. So that was a big hit.
Apparently, with the
Yeah.
audiences and critics.
Yeah. I mean,
And
this one.
the second one has a 93%. This one.
Yeah. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, well, actually, the Google users, it says 96% liked this movie. And then it has like a 6.9 on IMDb.
People love this movie.
Which, let me just say, Dirtbag, also 6.9 on IMDb. Actually, 6.8. But, so I'm just saying, you can have that
Yeah, you're just
score,
saying that
and 96% of people will like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also David Thewlis, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who was
I can't help you there.
he was what's his face, like the big evil guy in fucking Harry Potter. Was he the evil guy? I don't know why I brought this up, but he is in this, and that was like kind of a surprise to me.
The big evil guy in Harry.
He played
you mean,
Remus.
Like Voldemort.
No, Remus. Who's Remus? I never watched these movies. If I'm being,
You never watched the Harry Potter
oh my god,
movies?
he was not the evil guy. That was Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, Ray Fiennes, not Ralph.
We're really getting lost in the sauce over here.
A lot has been learned about me in just a brief period of time. Okay, anyway, he's in this. He's really good in the movie Naked. He's not naked in the movie, but the movie's called Naked. Anyway.
Okay, that's a good
no
specification.
Enola Holmes. Two. Similar to the... I don't fully remember everything about how I felt about the first one, but I kind of walked away from this a bit on the same feelings, like, where I'm just like, yeah, it was not bad. It's not for me. It was fine.
Yeah. I think based on the fact that I remember that Enola is related to Sherlock, I think I remembered a bit more about the first one than you.
Definitely.
I thought this was better than the first one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what ways?
I think that the pacing felt a lot better because I remember the first one, the middle kind of like was a bit slow.
Yeah.
And this,
I
like
remember
the kind of like connecting the dots felt a lot better.
Totally. I mean, yeah, it kind of does a lot in a sequel that I like, that good sequels do, where it acknowledges that the benefit of doing a sequel is that you've gotten a lot of the character development out of the way in the first one, where it's like you can really use the time in the sequel to like have a lot of fun with it and go crazy instead of wasting more time. And I feel like this one, there's not a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily they wasted a little bit of time in this one because you wouldn't have been lost. You would have been like, wait, who's this Sherlock guy?
That's the thing, though. I will give it credit in the first like 2 minutes of the film, the editing that kind of like catches you back up. I'm like, all right, boom, we're back, Sherlock Holmes, but Enola Holmes, and yeah, it immediately throws you back in. It's definitely edited with the generation it's targeting towards in mind.
Oh, this is 100% a young adult targeted film.
Absolutely, yeah. Which that kind of irritates me sometimes. Black Adam, I think, is a worse version of that, where it's trying to go really fast and not waste the audience's time, but comes off really choppy and awkward in the process. But this is like pretty well edited, all things considered. It's still a long movie, but like it goes by. You get.
So you thought Black Adam in this was like a good comparison?
Well. Yeah, well, because they're both like trying to appeal to a young, wide audience, and both have like no respect for, the attention spans. So they just kind of fucking fly by. And one of them does it in a way that's like really entertaining and you don't even notice it. The other one, you're like, this is just disrespectful after a while. And that's my comparison for Black Adam versus Enola Holmes.
Long.
It is a long movie
for a young adult film, but I kind of get why, because it's like this mystery, but I do feel like they could have probably chopped 20 minutes off this film.
Yes, definitely.
It's over 2 hours long.
Yeah, there were scenes that I'm like, we could have cut that. as far as like a mystery goes, I thought it was a decent unraveling, you know. I it's not my favorite kind of mystery, but I was like, sure, it works. The twist was fun, and I like the puzzle solving aspects of it.
I will say, this film, the mystery is very much spoon fed to you.
Absolutely,
it's like it's because it's one of those mysteries where it's impossible to yourself pick up on clues before the character does.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much we're watching Enola solve a mystery. We're not like given a mystery that we can do anything with in our heads.
Right, which is why it's targeted towards such a young audience. And
you're calling the audience stupid.
No. No. I'm just like, you know, younger. Yeah, I'm calling them stupid. Yeah. I'm kidding. No, I mean, it's just like, it's not trying to be like a movie you have to like actively like figure out as it's going. Like, it just spoon feeds it to you so that you can kind of like sit back and just enjoy her figuring it out. And I don't know, to me, I guess there's another mystery movie out right now called Decision to Leave that is like polar opposite of this, in that it's like you really like are kind of piecing it together with them, and it challenges you in a couple of ways, and that's more what I enjoy in a mystery movie. But obviously that is targeted towards a very mature audience, and this is not.
Now,
so, yeah.
I want to get into the performances in this film. With Kirsten Lundquist.
Yeah. I mean,
as someone who, you know, is a great movie reviewer, what did you think of Millie Bobby Brown's performance?
Millie Bobby Brown has been better. I'm not a Millie Bobby Brown hater by any means. I think she is like very charming and is one of the best parts about Stranger Things. I remember not minding her. I remember feeling kind of like whatever about her in the first movie. Did not like her in this movie, I'm going to be honest. I don't think she really sold it for me. She was like very either doing too much or not selling. Like, I think a lot of the twists weren't fully as like exciting as they could have been, because you could just tell she was acting a little too much and like going a little too over the top, and it felt very like, I don't know. I want to say it felt like a kid's movie, but that's kind of what it is, so I can't really complain. But I was just like, I don't know. I didn't really vibe with what she was doing personally. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was fine. Honestly, it wasn't any great. Nothing of note, honestly. It was pretty much exactly the performance that if you imagine the film in your head, you would get.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like
straight.
A lot of the actors. Why isn't he listed on?
I'm going to be honest. Also,
okay.
The thing I just said about imagining the performance in your head does not make sense. Don't try to, because now I think I'm leading people to imagine a performance in their head.
Yeah,
and that doesn't make any sense. I had nothing to say there, and I just said something just to fill the time.
Yeah.
And it did not mean literally anything. That made no sense.
Well,
you just went with it.
I went with it because, well, I'm just.
but to you, that made no sense. What I said, right? Like, that did not make any sense.
I was like, I'm there, but you know. I do think it's like looking. I think there is something to admire about actors that sell it in movies for a younger audience, and a great example is
I know you're not going to say Daniel Radcliffe because you haven't seen any of those films.
I've seen some of them, and I think he was great. I'm thinking about Hugh Grant in Paddington 2, where that's like a phenomenal performance, and he like really sells it. And I honestly think David Thewlis in this movie is like kind of there, where he's like just over the top enough, and like has moments where I'm like, that was really fun, and like he's clearly catering to that audience, but also it's like fun for adults, and he just like sells it. And I don't think Millie Bobby Brown
was very good.
Yeah, I just don't think she fully sells it all the time. But
now, I also want to say that Helena Bonham Carter is great in everything.
Yeah, anytime she pops up in something. Also in Harry Potter. Which
That's true. Which
I wouldn't
again,
know that.
You wouldn't know that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, she seems like someone that, you don't see her in movies that often anymore. She was kind of like a big early 2000s actor.
Like Big Fish.
In Big Fish, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Man, Enola Holmes 1.
Yeah. And that's another thing about this movie is it feels very much like belongs in like 2005, just as far as its like style and the aesthetics it's working with. Like,
well, isn't the aesthetics like 200 years ago?
Yeah, but that was what that style was like making that stuff like kind of rock and roll, and it's like, oh, like let's make this old photo of this guy look cool because
they
it's
should
like
have made
collage.
Because if it was 2005, I feel like it would have been a lot more steampunk looking.
Yeah,
Enola Holmes would have been wearing the steampunk glasses, and then
very different. Yeah,
it would have been like 30 minutes of macro shots of machinery and cogs spinning around. You would have heard like
that would have turned into a song.
You would have had some guy like going like this, popping up and down like Mickey Mouse.
That would have been. That would have been a better movie, honestly. Yeah, no. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I honestly like that about it, that it has like some sort of like
aesthetic.
I don't know. Yeah. It's got its own like style, and it's like very poppy and like
the kind of like clip arty like insert style for the animations and all that stuff.
Right. That's yeah.
I don't know. Clip art. I meant like collage. That's what I meant. Clip art would be like like the really low resolution things when you're trying to make.
I was gonna say. I was like, I know what you mean, but clip art is definitely like
clip art. It's
tiger.
not clip art. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like my presentation on the Brooklyn Zoo. Just like a really cartoon picture of a tiger.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's Enola Holmes too. It's not something I would ever. I'll probably forget about it by the time the third one comes out.
Well, you forgot about the first one.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna remember a lot.
I mean, we're gonna watch the third one.
Probably tune into the third one. It's like I'm not upset that this franchise exists either. I'm like, it's Sherlock Holmes' sister.
I mean, it's a fun premise for a film.
Yeah, and I'm glad Millie Bobby Brown's getting work outside of Stranger Things, even if it's not.
Even if it's still with Netflix.
Yeah.
What if Millie Bobby Brown never again does a film that's like not affiliated with Netflix?
I was literally thinking this. I'm like, has she even been in theaters? Like, she's one of, I would say, like the biggest actors of right now, and all I see is Godzilla, which I know
Godzilla vs. Kong.
It had
regular Godzilla.
It had a theater run, but I didn't see it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it says that she's going to be an untitled Netflix superhero project on Letterboxd, so I don't know how trustworthy that is.
There we go. The Girls I've Been, Damsel, and the first thing about
the first person who commented on that untitled Netflix project on Letterboxd wrote Morbius 2, Morb Girl.
Morbius did just come out on Netflix, which is massive.
I have not seen it.
Neither have I. I am very curious, but
I mean, we've established that we do know some of the foundational facts. The Doctor,
and it has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not great. Anyway, I don't know what else there's to say about Enola Holmes. I mean, if you're seeking out a movie like this, you're probably going to enjoy it. Like, people that were excited about this movie will love it because it just fully leans into everything it wants to be.
You know what? That's actually a good point. This film meets expectations based on the premise and the cast about as well as you could possibly hope for.
Exactly. Like if
this is a film where you thought to yourself, this is something I would like to see, you're going to like it.
Right. And we watched this for the podcast, so it wasn't necessary. I don't think I would have ever watched this if not for the podcast.
I'm going to be honest, I would have.
You would have? Okay.
Because I feel like I'm invested in the franchise at this point.
You are too invested. Yeah, you can't. You're tuning into the third one for sure then.
Yeah. Like even if the podcast no longer exists, I'm going to do it. I'll release a podcast because I know the logins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Carson's not here anymore. What? That'd be so sad if you were not doing the podcast and I was just doing it alone, and I still like pretended like you were there, and I would just cut clips from old episodes for like responses.
Yeah. AI has advanced to the point where you can still have me on. Yeah.
Oh, I watched this with my parents.
I was gonna ask
for some
how that
reason
was.
I told them I was gonna watch this, and then they wanted to watch it, even though they did not watch the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They both liked it.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, that was fun.
I was really wondering that while I was watching. I was like, I wonder what Jeff's parents. It's like up there with Tenet when you watch that with your family.
They did that,
and I was like, I wonder what they think of that.
I agreed with them where they were like, why can't we understand any of the dialogue?
Yeah.
We had to turn on subtitles immediately.
I know. That literally, it's so funny that movie tried to save theaters in the midst of the pandemic. And even if you saw it in theaters, you would be incredibly frustrated because you can't hear a single thing.
If anything, that film seemed like it was trying to save center channel surround sound systems. By making it completely necessary to hear any of the dialogue. Yeah.
Well, what are we thinking for Enola Holmes as a score? Time of day rating?
Do you think anyone ever rewinded Tenet? They saw the part where they were running backwards, but then it was running forwards, and they were confused and thought that they weren't rewinding?
Well, I think... That I didn't know what you were asking, but that's funny. Because I was gonna say I think there's tons of edits on YouTube of people like either recutting it to make sense or like reversing a lot of the reverse shots to see what it looks like. And that's the thing about some of those reverse shots is they filmed it that way. I don't know why we just started talking about Tenet, but
wait, they filmed them with the people running backwards?
like the car was driving backwards and they did like a stunt that way. And that's what's crazy because what they had to do was like one car had to be going backwards, but the rest of the world was going forwards. So they had to do it practically. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so impressive about it, but it also as a story makes no sense.
Now,
but it's cool.
Instead of doing that, why didn't they just write the film differently?
Because that's what he does. He wants to wanted it to be that. And you know what? It scratches an itch for a lot of people, so I'm just glad it worked for them.
It scratched my itch way too hard.
Yeah. Ripped the skin off. Yeah.
Just right to the bone.
I'm thinking like a 2.5 out of 5 for this. I
just looked at Letterboxd and I know you already rated it and you were pretending like you were.
Wait, Enola Holmes 2?
Wait, didn't you? Or did you just rate Enola Holmes 1?
I think it might have been 1.
Oh, you're right. It was 1. Wait, you gave 1 a 2.5.
I mean, what did I tell you? I came out feeling almost the exact same. Where I think I would give it a 2.5 and a heart or something. I liked the movie. But it's not something that is at all aligned with what I want in the movie. It's really easy to
recommend to certain people, though.
Yeah.
Because, again, this film genuinely meets exact expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, interestingly, the first one is a 3.1 on Letterboxd.
Uh-huh.
The second one, 3.6.
Good for them. It does seem like the general consensus is people like this one a bit more. And it
is better. This one... for sure is better than the first one.
Yeah. I just locked in my rating. So yeah. What about you? What were you feeling?
I was thinking like 3.5. Like I thought this was a pretty decent film.
Yeah. And that's valid. Time of day, I'm thinking like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
It's one of those where when I was younger, my mom would take me and my sister to go see it like in the afternoon on a weekend. And we'd be like, sure, that was fun. And it would be like a 2 p.m., you know. Anyway.
Cool.
So that's Enola Holmes 2.
And you mean 2, not also.
Also, yeah. I mean number 2.
Like the number.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. You watched it yesterday?
I watched it today. Actually, this morning.
Which is yesterday if you're listening to it tomorrow.
Yes. And
Just
if
to
you're
clear
listening
it
it tomorrow, we're referring, yes, to yesterday. But we're recording this today, which is also yesterday if you're listening to this tomorrow.
Exactly. Just to be very transparent with the spot. That's exactly.
We want to
what
let
happened.
you guys know. You guys are going to listen to this tomorrow, but when you actually listen to it, that will be today.
Although
Monday. No, actually, you're going to put it out today. It's Monday.
Yeah, so it's going to be today if you listen to it right away.
We watch this the day you're listening to this podcast, unless you're listening to it tomorrow.
Something happens to me and I don't release it.
Yes.
In which case, God help us all.
We'll get into questions on that note. Because people need to know Jeff's answers before something happens to him.
Mm-hmm.
These come from the Carscast subreddit, r/Carscast, under the question thread number 7. Damn, we've done so many threads. And this first one comes from Caroline0117, and it's, what are your best tips for getting a good night's sleep?
Be active during the day.
Yes, definitely. Also, yeah, I would say specifically, like, the nights I've gotten my worst sleep are days where I really didn't do anything that day, and specifically was like laying in bed on my phone, because then it's like when it's time to sleep, it doesn't feel like a change of environment or like anything. You're just sitting in the same spot, and then it's really hard to put your mind. But when you've been like out and about, even if you were on the couch watching stuff, like getting in bed, there's no feeling quite like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like do some stuff.
You heard it here first. There's no feeling quite like getting in Karsten's bed.
Also, I mean, the obvious stuff is like, don't drink coffee like after. I would say like 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is kind of the last for me.
That's a good one. Don't look at your phone in bed.
Which I'll say, yeah.
I do it all the time.
I do it all the time, but
yeah, don't. And you're also not supposed to eat, within like a couple hours before going to bed.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I don't do that either.
I have a snack like minutes before passing out every night.
I mean, you could take melatonin, which I would say probably not a good long-term solution because that's a substance your body naturally produces, and kind of making it a crutch to take it. Because I used to take it a lot, and I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't do this.
That's same with me, yeah. And thankfully, it's not the most addictive thing. Like,
no, it's not addictive. It's just it feels like it's probably bad for you.
Yeah. It makes you feel weird in the morning. That's
that's it. It makes me groggy the next day.
Yeah, headaches and
not headaches. I don't get that.
Okay.
That's if you get headaches from melatonin, you definitely should not take it.
Okay, well, I should stop taking it.
Yeah, you should stop
headaches in the morning.
Yeah, do not. You should stop whatever you're doing.
I'm just hungover off the melatonin.
Did you ever sleepwalk?
Yeah, I do. I still sleepwalk. I got up like a few months ago and just walked around my apartment, looked out the window, which is terrifying. Very.
How do you know you did that? Did someone tell you?
I remember vaguely it happening, like getting out of bed and thinking it was a dream, and then Cookie was there and was like, "You got out," and I was like, "Oh God, yeah." So that's
that's.
I talk a lot in my sleep.
Yeah.
My old freshman roommate has tons of recordings of me just like laughing and talking in voices. So nice. I'm definitely like a rowdy sleeper. Something to know about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to when I was like really young. I would sleepwalk a bit.
Yeah.
Something that's in the fireplace a few times.
That's so funny.
I peed on a karaoke machine once. It was mainly, I guess, I just would sleepwalk and pee random places.
Yeah. Well, that is what scares me. I'm not someone that has wet the bed in maybe like 20 years. But I do get scared.
I don't believe you.
Maybe a little bit less than 20 years. But I do get scared if I'm like at an Airbnb or, God forbid, like a friend's house and I'm like sleeping on the couch and I'm like, this is the worst place I could pee in my sleep.
Now,
yeah.
Have you considered when you're going to sleep over wearing an adult diaper?
No. Yeah, that'd be so funny. Like, wait 1 second, I gotta go put on my diaper. And your friend is like, what?
Which, I mean, if it's something that's like medically necessary,
Nothing again.
which it
No,
is,
yeah.
no, it's not. It's just the concept of Carson just doing it under the assumption.
I'm like, I haven't
he
peed
would
the
pee
bed
himself.
in 20 years, but
Yeah.
you never know when disaster might strike. Yeah. Anyway, so those are our tips on getting a good night of sleep. Is wear your diaper. This
Peace of mind.
This next one comes from Chips Ahoy 523, and it's a question for Jeff. Thoughts about subtropical storm Nicole? Now, I have no idea what that means.
I think I just read about that like today.
It's a. I thought this was a person. No, that's a hurricane.
Yeah, so I guess you might not have known this. Storms are given like human names.
I know that. No, I know her. I know that.
Well, you just to be clear, before that, I was making sure because you did say tropical storm Nicole. You thought was a person.
Well, because the way this person wrote it, for some reason, I was like, when it's question for Jeff, I assume it's like a sports thing or like a Florida thing, and I don't know why I glazed past subtropical and was like, oh, this is probably like some famous athlete's cool nickname.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. You thought that it was a person with that nickname,
which is a crazy nickname. Now,
yeah, like what sport would they play?
Like they're a swimmer. I don't know, like they.
Imagine like tropical storm Michael Phelps.
Yeah. He's coming to clear out the water. Yeah.
Anyways, this is the projected path of storm, and that's Florida.
So it is gonna hit you.
And I'm like kind of in the middle of that. So,
oh man,
I did have to evacuate the last one.
Jesus.
This one though, it's gonna hit. It looks fairly weak. It's not even a hurricane. It's probably supposed to strike as like a category 1, which in Florida it can still do damage, but it's mainly like water, like storm surge.
Yeah.
The wind isn't really that big an issue generally. If it's category 1, if you're in like a solid structure.
Right.
And since it's striking the other side, as long as we don't get a bad storm surge, I should be fine. But you never know with those things.
Yeah. You should be a weatherman.
Well, I need to change my name to like Thunder Cloudman or something.
Subtropical storm Jeff.
I mean, that would be kind of a issue though if there was like a really bad storm.
Yeah.
And I called myself like Hurricane Jeff. And I'd be like, we actually don't like hurricanes. That's the craziest thing to me is that the Carolina hockey NHL team is called the Hurricanes. And I'm like, imagine if a hurricane, which can absolutely hit North Carolina, like wrecks the whole city. Yeah. And then like the team's like, go Hurricanes.
Right.
Hey. And it's like, oh, okay, a hurricane destroyed all of my whole childhood.
Which team is the Avalanche again?
That's Colorado, which again
also is I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean Tampa's the Lightning, but like lightning strikes are gonna, if you get, it's not as big of a like mass disaster.
Yeah, those Chicago Bulls.
Which, really saying this, like Pamplona, you get run over by a bull, and you're like, oh, the Bulls,
those damn Bulls.
Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick. The Tampa Bay Lightning, like they have a special jersey. It's awesome.
Yeah. There better be a. I'm trying to say. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
That's like waves. There's like lightning on the arm.
Oh, I love that.
And this is like their old logo for when I was a child.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
So they it's like their special jersey this year.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. As probably terrible podcast content.
No. Well, I was gonna ask, what's your favorite like sports team? I guess logo or not? Maybe logo's a bad, but like look. Which one looks the best in your opinion?
Well, the old team, NHL team, the Hartford Whalers. Which why was there a professional sports team in Hartford, Connecticut? No, it did not last. They actually moved and became the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Their logo was so cool because it used negative space to create like part of the logo. So I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I'll say mine is the Miami Dolphins. I like the look of that one. From what I remember, It's like
the dolphin with the football helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
okay,
it. I like the colors. It just pops.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like I like the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, the Hartford Whalers logo is this. So here's what's cool about this.
Yeah.
That's a whale tail.
Yep. You get the H and you get the W.
Yeah, and the H is negative space. It's created with the negative space, which is really cool.
I love stuff like that. Yeah, that's really good.
And also, the team name was the Hartford Whalers, and their colors were green and blue. It's so weird. Oh, also, they had the best song ever, which I've said at some point in this, but it's called Brass Bonanza. It was their theme song.
Yep. Yeah, you brought this up. Yeah. Any song with Bonanza in the title, you know. It's going to be
and brass.
Yeah.
What if your nickname was Brass Karsten?
Well, that doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No, it doesn't.
That's Brass Borslow.
And also, it rhymes with ass.
If you and your brother start up another podcast, you should call it the Borslow Bonanza. Just saying.
That's a good idea.
This last one comes from Cyhots9292, and it is, will you ever show us your Criterion/Blu-ray collections? I've thought about this. I've actually filmed my collection before and then was like, who cares? And I never uploaded it, even though it took like 45 minutes. So
make it a YouTube short for the channel.
But it's not a short. It takes so long. There's so many. Like, I have them all on that fucking bookshelf back there, but it's maybe someday. Yeah. It's just like it's also one of those things where it's like I'm in the process of still getting some, so I'm like I have to reach a point where I'm like that's a good enough amount to show someone, because it's like what if like the next week I get a cooler one and then I'm like damn I already filmed the
What's your favorite one that you own?
Oh man, it's honestly probably the Pink Flamingos one. Because I really like that movie. The packaging is really cool. It comes with a barf bag. It's got a lot of fun features, and good one to own, I would say. Especially because it's really hard to find online. Sometimes I think it's easier now, but anyway. Let's get into the wrap up.
Well, I mean, I didn't actually get a chance to answer.
You didn't. I'm sorry, Jeff. That was.
Yeah, it's kind of rude.
No, that was really rude on
my part. I'll forgive you because you're, a tremendous guy. Cool hair, good mustache.
Inexcusable, though.
I'll excuse you just this one time.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All of stuff's in storage right now.
Okay.
So that's why I can't show
it.
But my favorite, I have a lot of the Criterion Wes Anderson Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I think you have more than I do. I only have Fantastic Mr. Fox, so...
Yeah, I have more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, you only have one, so...
I only have one, so...
Yeah, when you were like, I think you have more than me.
I know you have more
I definitely
than me.
do. Yeah, you only have one.
Yeah. All right. We'll get into the wrap-up then. Starting with next week's movie, which... I have the idea for one, Jeff, and... I'm sure you've maybe heard about it.
Morbius?
Not Morbius. I want to get to this one. We are a little bit late to it, but I think people would still
the one with the 3 letters?
Tar. Yeah.
No, okay, that wasn't what I meant.
Oh, you were thinking about something else.
I was right on accident.
I was gonna say.
I was thinking RRR.
Oh, RRR. We should get to
which
eventually.
I haven't seen.
I also realized Letterboxd did the thing where. Sometimes on a film's page they do a little adjustment very subtly, and on the Tar page up in the top left it says Letterboxd with an accent, which is very, very fun.
Where is that? Is that on just the website?
If you go to the page for Tar on Letterboxd, I don't know if it works on mobile, but it's working on.
I don't think it works on mobile.
Yeah,
well, that's fun.
Yeah, like the Dune thing, the little watch thing is blue.
Right.
And, but this would be a very interesting movie to talk about. It's one of the most interesting movies I've seen recently, and I'm just like it's finally gone wide. And yeah, I think it would be worth talking about if you're down.
I could be down.
It's way more accessible than people make it out to be, which is why I'm like telling a lot of people to see it. It's just it's
probably not accessible as Enola Holmes 2.
Definitely not as accessible as Enola Holmes 2. No, but yeah, you should take your parents to this one, Jeff. I'll say that. I would.
Should I, or is that like a bad idea?
No, it doesn't have any like real. It doesn't have any like graphic scenes like that.
It's not like Raw.
It's not like Raw. It's not a horror movie. That's the
Dude,
thing.
Imagine watching Raw with your parents.
Well, I watched it on the like family TV 3 summers ago with my friend Sam, and my dad kept walking in at like the worst parts, and he's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Just stay out of it." But he was in the right there. Yeah. Anyway, for now, we'll say Tar for next week.
Tar.
Pretty crazy movie. Next, we like to read a review. We get these from Chartable, and we love hearing what you guys have to say about the podcast.
But, I mean, you can review it on like Apple, right? Like Chartable is just an aggregator.
Yes, you can do it anywhere you'd like. This one comes from Red Tinsel 7 from Australia. Subject line is "Bruh moment." 5 stars, and it reads, "I'm writing this review to be put in the podcast. I'm sure this will be in a good episode because they are the best podcasters. Yay." You're right. It was a good episode.
Probably wrong about us being the best podcasters.
Better podcasters.
I would say we're probably like dead middle, because I would say 10% of podcasts are just like really offensive.
Actually, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, like
a
good people start podcasts because they're like, I have shit to say for an hour, and most people, when you give them that amount of time, are gonna say some questionable things.
Yeah, and you had a hot take.
I mean, we
earlier.
I've said plenty of questionable things.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. That's that's the thing about me is I don't give a fuck.
Someone's playing that clip as you get canceled.
Yeah.
I've said plenty of questionable things.
I
don't give a fuck.
Just do your thing. All right.
That's my new YouTube short.
The title is "Carson Doesn't Give a Fuck." People click on it. Yeah. And lastly, we'd like to thank the patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast.
If you're a patron, we love you.
We do love you.
If you're not a patron,
that's okay.
We still like you.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, we appreciate it.
If you've gotten this far, honestly,
yeah,
you should be a patron, because
right.
There's a lot more where this came from.
And it exactly. You get to know where it came from on the Patreon. And if you got this far, then you probably are like a fan of the podcast, and you should just leave a review at this point. Like, just gonna plug the review.
Carson will read it.
I'm gonna read it. We have a lot to catch up on, so we aren't in need. But honestly, we are in need. You should leave a review. But if you want to support the podcast, the best place to go is the Patreon, patreon.com/Karstcast, where you can get exclusive bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, which we're about to do. We literally like read your name you're in the podcast. That's what you get just for
Karsten. And
$5
Karsten
a
reads
month.
it. He's the famous one between the two of us.
Yeah, it's fun.
This guy, Karsten, is gonna pay to be verified on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that.
We didn't even talk about that.
Well, I feel like we touched on it a little last episode, I thought.
Yeah,
but
we did. You're right. You know what?
It's the thing of, like, the best way to sum it up is, and I'm not the first one to say this, but if, like, everyone is verified, then no one's verified.
Right.
It just completely ruins the whole point of it and is going to turn the site into a shitstorm. And, like, I don't... It is going to... I literally think it'll fall apart.
Yeah,
it's not gonna go over well.
No, I mean it would be fine if they had like a different check mark.
Yeah,
different, that wasn't like the same as the like journalists and stuff.
That's a good point. Is like maybe just make a different thing.
Yeah. Make a dollar sign. A blue dollar sign next to their name.
Yeah. Like, and we would give the patrons something if we knew how to do that.
Maybe give them like. Everyone who pays the $8 gets put in a raffle, and the winner gets to go to space.
They would do that, I feel like. Yeah. So why pay for the verification when you can pay to be a patron on the Carscast?
It's cheaper.
Support two good guys. Yeah, it's cheaper, and you get your name read in the podcast.
Karsten has at most half as much money as Elon, so Karsten can use it.
Yes. So thank you, Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Belly, Big Beard Pirate, Boinks, Camilla, Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Finn Richardson, Jacob Meyer, Jared Armstrong, John Van Hout, Joshua Hughes, Katie T. Leonard. Let's change the Google search results. PTA, Leavin, I'm a hair product now, Louis A.O., Lukewarm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Michael Rennie, Monroe Page, Noah Wooten, Pasta, Queen of Staten Island, Rakakuni, Riley Oss, Ryan M., Sam Farr, Sean Kenny, Loves God Save the Animals, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Orban, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor's Version, The Raccoon from Airbun 7th Inning Fetch, Wes Kinley, Wiley, Todd, Yusef A., and Zoe Hernandez McDonald. So two music takes before we head out. Real quick, I saw Alex G live, which I thought some of you would like an update. It was great. Puts on a good show. And two, Taylor Swift's new album is dog shit. It is a horrible album. And on that note,
real quick. So I asked you for a hot take earlier.
Well, the thing is,
decided I want to be in the metaverse.
Yeah, I didn't even share.
You had this take waiting in the wings.
I didn't even share the movie one I told you about, but we'll save that one for next one. I don't even think this is that hot of a take, though, because anyone that's not a stan of Taylor Swift can recognize that it is not. And I don't even hate Taylor like that. I don't hate her at all. But I think this album is horribly produced and does not show off her skills as an artist the best it could. It's cheesy, and yeah, that's my thoughts on Taylor's new album. That
Now, do you think that people are going to be okay with you saying this?
Well, I think anybody. I say I critique it because I care, and I think Taylor can do a lot better, and that's where this comes from. Not a place of just shitting on it to shit on it, but I think Taylor could do a lot better than what she did on this album. And I think fans should be open to this. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think they will be.
Nope, they won't. Don't make that the clip, Jeff, because that will...
I was absolutely going to make that the clip.
Don't make that because
it's all about clicks. It's a clicks game.
That's a bit... That one's a bit too dicey. It's for the people that make it to the end of the podcast.
Yeah. No, we'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll talk later.
You should cut it off at me being like, Taylor Swift's album is, and then cut it off and be like, listen to the podcast to figure this one out.
Yeah,
and you got to listen to the whole pod. Okay.
That's what I'll do.
Anyway, Jeff.
Catch you on the flip side, Carson Rundquist. It's been a great time talking with you, as always. Hope, you've continued settling into your cool new apartment.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. It's getting there. Thanks, Jeff, and I'll catch you on the flip side as well.